All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we are going to be taking a look at everything that I picked up in the month of January 2021. And I have quite a bit here in terms of comic book related stuff. If you like comic books, and this is one of the reasons why you're subscribed and you watch my videos, I think you're going to enjoy a lot of this. Quite a bit of this though, I have already done overviews for, so I will try to make a list in the description box below of everything I did an overview for already. So if you want to take a bigger in-depth look at some of this stuff, because a lot of it has been kind of interesting, especially when it comes to binding for DC related stuff, and Marvel as well, but more so on the DC side of things. But anyway, let's get on with this. And I'm quite excited for this month. A lot of omnibus, man. A lot of omnibus. Okay, the only unrelated thing to comic books is I picked up season 3 of Supernatural. I have the first season, the 4th season, and the 5th season on Blu-ray. So for whatever reason, the 2nd season has gone up in price, and I kind of want to watch through all of Supernatural. So I want to pick this up, and eventually I'll get season 2 at some point in time. I've been wanting to watch this for so long. I've only watched up until season 5, and they just finished up. And what did they get up to season 15? I feel like they got up to season 15, which is ridiculous. So I've always wanted to go back to this and return to it. I have twice. I think I've tried watching it 3 times. When it first came out, then when I got it on DVD, and then eventually when I got it on Blu-ray, I kind of went through it and only 5 seasons. I have 10 more seasons to watch, so very much looking forward to that. All right, let's get on with all this craziness here. In terms of comic books, I ended up getting The Incredible Hulk Volume 15, Who Will Judge the Hulk? I did an overview of this this epic collection, so a trade paperback. I mean, kind of your standard fare for what was coming out back then. This would be the years 1971 to 72. Really like that we finally have the Hulk in the 70s now, and I hope that we get quite a bit more between this volume and volume 13, which just came out last month. I think it's 13. Was it 14 or 15? I can't remember. The last volume, I think, was 13. I could be wrong on that. It might be actually 14 or 15. I did an overview of that, and that's just before the Peter David Omnibus Volume 1 that came out. So I'm really hoping that we get a lot of the rest of the 70s and early 80s for the Hulk. Either in omnibus, I prefer omnibus format, but I'll take Epic Collection at this point in time too. We're going to put that to the side because there's way too many omnibus here. One of the few videos I didn't do an overview for, because I got this for as a late Christmas present for my brother, and that is Swamp Thing, the Bronze Age Omnibus. And this collects, where is it here? Basically, the first time that the Swamp Thing first appears, and then a few issues from the beginning of the Swamp Thing collection. So it includes House of Secrets 92, which is his first appearance, and Swamp Thing 1 to 24, along with the Saga of the Swamp Thing 1 to 19, which then and the Saga of the Swamp Thing annual number 1. I might do an overview of this before, like once I take it out of the shrink wrap and decide to read it. And this leads right into the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, which I've heard so many good things about, but I always wanted to read this first before I dived into that, to just to have a bit of a background and understanding of Swamp Thing. I've always thought that this was an interesting character. I always, like, as I was growing up in the 90s, I'd always see like something from this, maybe like a Wizards magazine or something like that. And it always seemed really interesting. That's something I could potentially enjoy. I liked the Hulk back then. He kind of looks like the Hulk, just like a little bit creepier, I guess. And I don't even know how to explain that. Droopier? I mean, he's got things hanging from him, right? Because he's part of the swamp, which is really cool. So I've wanted to dive into this, and because I've heard so many good things about the Alan Moore run, I wanted to check this out. I wonder if we'll eventually get like a Swamp Thing by Alan Moore omnibus. They're doing the what is it? The absolutes from DC, which are a little bit bigger than even the omnibus. And I think the first 2 volumes are out. The third one's on the way, I believe. But I'm wondering if we'll ever get an omnibus as well. That'd be kind of cool. Next up for DC, which I just recently did an overview of, and I was kind of disappointed with the binding of this, and that is the Flash by Jeff Johns Omnibus Volume 2. Relatively short omnibus, like it's under 900 pages. I think it was, I can't remember the exact page count, but under 900 pages, and the binding for this is just, like, there's no eye. Which is really unfortunate. Maybe after I read it, well, it'll open up the spine a little bit more. But at the moment, Not the greatest omnibus. Okay, we're gonna have to flip a few things around here, or else this won't work. On the other hand, Marvel, with the Infinity Crusade omnibus, we now have the Infinity Set trilogy by Jim Starlin. So happy to have this. The 90s, man. This is totally up my alley. This has a good binding. This is a relatively big book too. I can't remember exactly how many. It's strange though, because we don't really get that much of an eye. There is an eye there. It is popping out, but look at just the opening of this. I mean, this is Marvel. You kind of expect that, but I can go to the beginning and we're still good. Like, that's, how many pages is that in? Do I have a page count somewhere? No. Just because I want that, they're not giving it to me. There's still a little bit of gut loss because of this. It's not bad though. It's really not bad. I mean, I am kind of having to press it open a bit more, but it's not like a death trap like the Flash is, which is really too bad because it's Jeff Johns, and I really like Jeff Johns. I'm enjoying his Green Lantern run so much, and I've heard good things about this one as well. All right, let's move that like that. 2 more omnibus to look at, and I've done overviews for them, so you might have seen them already. X-Men related. The Uncanny XMen, Volume 3 by Claremont, Cockrum and Smith. Continuing on with Claremont's epic run of the Uncanny X-Men and eventually the Uncanny X-Men. This one, if I remember correctly, has a good binding. It's not popping out too much. What is up with this? I felt like it was much better than this. I mean, it's still better than the DC Omnibus, but and I can go to the beginning, 100 pages in. You're not opening it like even 30 pages in. It just stays open. That Marvel, you do an amazing job with your omnibus, and I feel that the more that I read this potentially, the more that it'll stretch itself out even more, because Marvel does an amazing job with their omnibus. It's just, they understand that a crazy amount of glue is not really going to help things. And last but not least, X-Men by Claremont, Jim Lee, and Mark Silvestri. I feel like this is the Jim Lee omnibus is what people tend to refer to this, even though he really didn't do that many issues on here. I think he has 7, and the rest is done by Mark Silvestri, who is also a really good artist, and is the ending of the epic 17 run of Claremont when we get volume 2, which comes out, the reprint of it anyway, comes out very soon. And this one's I think 700 pages or something like that. This one has a fantastic eye. Look at this. Well, and it should, because it's so small. Like, no problems here at all. You're looking at 68, page 28, page 25. It's just, I really like this too. This reminds me of the Mask comic book that they had. Let's see if I can properly show you. The big teeth, you know, green face, big teeth. It's cool. Anyway, that's the last one that I have for this month. Really happy with my pickups this month. This is going to take me forever to read all of this. I have no idea when I'm going to be doing that, but my goal this year is to read 365 comic books at least. I'd like to double that though. And I'm off to a slow start, so I'm going to have to do some catching up, but I think that I can do this. If I can commit 1 hour a day, I could read 4 comic books a day. And then I could hit over 1,000 comic books or issues in a year, which would be amazing. It would really do a dent in my backlog. Although I keep buying omnibus, which just ruins everything. So anyway, that's everything I picked up in the month of January 2021. Let me know in the comments below what you picked up this month, and I'll see you all very soon. You've been bearded in. Beardage.